Your thoughts matter, but they are not the truth. And they don't matter that much. When we focus too much on them and we make them into something that they're not, like the truth, we suffer. Do you actually know what you're thinking? That's the first question we should ask ourselves is, are we aware of what we are thinking? And who is the voice in our head? There's something going on here. Who is that? Is that you? Is that the truth? Is that something you need to act on? Most cases, none of the above are true. If you had to act immediately, it would probably just happen. You wouldn't have time to think about it. Thoughts matter and not at all. It's a paradox. Thoughts matter if we give them power, if we believe them, if we feed them, if we fight them. And fighting them is the one that's a little bit tricky, because I'll tell you a personal story. The minute that I started understanding how important my thoughts were, it brought hyper awareness to my thoughts. And then I started hating myself for some of the thoughts that I was thinking. And that is not the way to deal with them at all. I did not know that. The thing is that we give them power when we resist them, we give them power when we feed them, and we give them power when we believe them. If we treat them like the weather, like the clouds in the sky, like all passing phenomenon, things that come and go, if we treat them like some experience that we have no control over, we won't complain about them. We won't try to resist them. We won't try to make a story about them. We won't try to take action because of them. We'll just let them slide and go with the flow and continue living our life in the present moment. Releasing the need to believe that if I'm thinking it, it might be true, because your mind is here and it's trying to protect you. 1 minute you think it's true, the next minute your mind's going to convince you it's not true. And the more you realize that, it's like you're having a conversation in your own mind. Yes, no, yes, no. And it's a ping pong game. Just be aware that's happening. And the minute that you are aware of it without judging it, resisting it, making it real, building another story upon it, and you just realize that, hey, this is a thought. You can name it. You could redirect your attention. But if you have an emotion, you don't want to avoid the emotion. So that's a side note. We notice that we have a thought when we have an experience, an event happens, and then we have a thought. And the thought might give meaning to that event, and that meaning might make us feel something. And then we might have an emotional reaction. Somebody said something, it triggered you. Your mind said, that means this person is disrespecting me. I feel bad about it. Whatever feeling comes up, sadness, fear, anger, any of those. And then you feel like you either have to react or you retreat. Your reaction might be having an argument or something like that. All right. So the story multiplies the suffering. The story, which is that thought, that initial thought that you had that said, this experience means this about me, about the other person, and how they feel about me. It could be a number of different things, but just bringing awareness to the fact that there is a thought, just noticing that there is a thought. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to react to it. And you don't have to fight it and resist it and fight yourself on it. Why am I thinking that? Just observing it like it's like a cloud in the sky. It's a cliche, but this too shall pass. It shall. Now, if you spend some time meditating, you know how often thoughts pass and how frequently they pass and how fast they pass. They pass so fast. When you're meditating, you're actually trying to bring awareness to what was I just thinking, and you won't be able to grasp it at one point. You'll just understand, or you get totally lost, immersed in some story, in some thought, and you are not even sitting there meditating. There are many different kinds of experiences, but the point of this right now is to understand that you are thinking something and it's impacting your experience, which is important to realize. Bringing awareness to the fact that you're thinking a thought and it's contributing to your suffering. And if you are trying to resist those thoughts and not think them, they become bigger, more prevalent in your life, more persistent. You have to be aware of it, but not give it power, and treat it like it's just something that comes and goes. I'm looking out into the street and there are cars passing by. But you just got to treat it like a car that's going to pass. It's going to pass you by. It's not going to stop. It's not going to run into you. And if it does, you'll move out of the way, because you'll just move out of the way. You're not going to think about, oh, if that car comes forward, I need to move out of the way. You don't do all that. So trying to control a thought is another way of feeding the thought. Okay? Trying to control the thought is another way of feeding the thought. Are you watching the movie, or are you lost in the movie? So the thing is that when we focus so intently on a movie and it catches us, we completely lose sight of where we are. We lose sight of everything else, and we're totally immersed in the movie. And that's the same thing happens with our thoughts. So we have to be aware of the thoughts that are playing in our mind. We have to be aware of them and treat them like passing phenomena. I keep saying this, but I think that it's very important. There's that thought again. So another thing, maybe there's like a season of your life, or maybe this week or this month, you're thinking certain things, you have a certain worry on your mind, and there are certain thoughts that keep coming and keep replaying, and they might be associated with some kind of fear that you have and some kind of anxiety that you're experiencing. But if you pay attention to the thoughts that keep appearing and they keep coming back, they're circling and they're making you feel a certain type of anxiety. Like, understanding that those are just thoughts is important. The thing is that when you have that experience, sometimes you really don't want that thought. So you'll do anything to avoid that thought. You'll scroll the internet, you'll try to find a movie, you'll binge watch Netflix, whatever the case is. You'll do all these things to try to avoid that. But when you just observe the thought and don't judge it, don't build another story about it, be like, oh, that's a thought. It's related to this fear that I'm experiencing right now. And it's just here trying to protect me, but I don't need its protection. I don't need that thought. It's just, it is what it is. And it's going to go if I breathe, if I come back to the body, and let that thought be there. There's that thought again. Oh, thank you for being here. I'm not in need of you right now. Send it on its way. So that is a tough one, especially when we have like certain things that we're fearing and we have anxiety around. So I'm not going to play the game of this is so easy, but this is something that can transform your experience if you practice. So you can notice it. Don't stop. Keep going. So a lot of times I'll record a video and I'll start thinking about certain things like, do you hear me sniffing? Do you hear me this? Do I look like this? I could stop and start the recording process like a million times, which I have done in the past. But what I'm learning through awareness is not to stop, just to keep going, keep recording, keep speaking, don't interrupt the flow. So the same thing happens, whatever you're doing, and you have that thought, that fear. Oh, there's that thought again. Don't judge it. Don't be mad at yourself for having it. Just allow it to be. Don't give it a lot of your attention, but don't resist it. Just allow it to be. Like if there was a butterfly that came and you weren't afraid, you don't have any butterfly phobias, but if a butterfly came like fluttering by, you wouldn't try and push it away if you weren't scared of it, right? So you just let it go. You know it's not gonna sit on you forever, right? It's gonna keep fluttering by. So just like a butterfly. Let your thoughts just be. Don't give them attention. Don't feed them and don't resist them. And I hate saying the don't word because automatically our mind tries to do what I'm saying not to do. So let's just allow. Another word to think about it is, oh, there's that thought again. I allow it to be here. I know that everything is passing phenomena. This too shall pass. And keep going. Be present in the moment. What are you doing in this moment? You don't need to be in the mind right now. You're here and now. I'm here and now with you in this video. There's no reason for me to be anywhere else. I don't need to be analyzing anything that's coming out of my mouth. I'm going to be completely present and immersed in this experience with you. So I hope that you feel me in this moment, being 100% here and present. So that's me bringing myself out of the mind that it was logically trying to organize this video in a way that would make sense. I'm letting all of that go and I'm being here and now. All right. So I hope that was helpful. I don't know. You let me know because I'm interested in how through video, how I can convey some kind of presence. Okay. So we don't control the thoughts, but what we can control is our return to the present moment, just like what I did. If all of a sudden I catch myself thinking, worrying, playing this conversation I had with someone, worrying about what something's going to develop into a relationship, whatever the case is, a lot of times there's fear underneath. And that's why I think it's important to be hyper aware of the thoughts because they do prevent us from living out our lives in a more fulfilling manner. So everything on this channel is going to point to developing awareness and how awareness can help us create change in our lives and also help us lead more fulfilling lives. If we're unconscious, then being more conscious in our lives, that is a change. One thing to remember is to notice and return. Notice and return. How do we return? So many people use the breath as an anchor because most of us can control our breath. So by breathing, you come back to the present moment and you're here and now. By listening, I can hear my neighbor's music. Luckily, it's very relaxing music. I can hear that in the background. I can smell. Currently, I don't smell anything. But if you smelled something, that would immediately bring you to this experience. I also sit on the balcony sometimes and I can just hear this hum of traffic. It's kind of like brown noise. It makes me very present. It brings me here and now. So let's say you're meditating and all of a sudden you hear some noises from your neighbor. You hear the noise. Oh, why do they make so much noise so early in the morning? Why are they doing that? That's a story. That's feeding some kind of anxiety, some kind of anger inside of you. But noticing it and just returning to the breath, returning to the experience. After a while, there are certain noises that you'll hear them and they won't annoy you anymore. Just this is part of the experience. It's helping you be here and now and not in your mind. Because actually, the moment that you hear some noise from a neighbor and you pop in to judge it and start talking about the neighbor and why the neighbor is doing that, you're in your mind. You're not in reality and you're not here in the present moment. So that's the difference. And so we don't want to judge the thought, even if you did have it. And let's say you did initially you have this, it's a habit. These are habits of, oh, the neighbor made a noise. Oh, you know, that neighbor that's always complaining, now they're making noise. Even if I had that thought about the neighbor, I don't want to judge myself about it. I just want to release it. Tell myself that's just a thought. It's passing phenomena. Everything here is impermanent. That means things are always changing. They're always changing. Things were always coming and going. That's the nature of our experience. So we want to come back to the present moment. Notice, come back. Even if we're noticing that we're judging, even we noticed all of a sudden that we went on this whole story in our mind and we're like somewhere else completely in our mind, thinking about what would happen next week and what do you need to do and your to-do list and all the things you need to do. And then why are you sitting here meditating when you need to do all these things? and then you come back to the present moment. And that is the practice of returning. So, another question you can ask yourself is, what thought are you treating as a reality right now? What thought are you treating as reality right now? Wow. It actually releases a little bit of stress when you think about it, that way. How most of our thoughts are not real and not tied to reality anyway. And really, everything is unpredictable. And I have seen my life turn 360 degrees overnight. So, planning and things like that, it's great. I plan all the time. I'm a big planner, but we just don't know. So, releasing that need to know, releasing that need to have things figured out, understanding that there are thoughts right now that are not reality, and you're treating them like reality. And by treating them like reality, we cause us a lot of unnecessary stress and suffering. So, anyway, I hope this was helpful. I want to wish you love and light. Thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe. I write about this, so please check out the links and see if any of the articles speak to you. If not, keep watching. Follow along. I'll be recording more videos. Have a great day.